Welcome, everybody. We are so glad that you're here tonight with us. We are very excited to be partnering with the Oklahoma Human Services to learn more about our state school-based family services program and the incredible benefits that it can deliver to the children and families of our local communities. My name is Erica Wright, and I am the founder and director of the Oklahoma Rural Schools Coalition. We are a grassroots rural public school advocacy network made up of a little bit over 14,000 parents and educators and community members from all 77 counties in the state. And our mission is to empower Oklahoma public school supporters by delivering tools and information that encourage greater community engagement, improved voter knowledge, and also increase legislative accountability. So one of the ways that we do this is by connecting with valuable program providers across the state and the nation and bring you education events like this to educate you about some of the incredible resources that are available for children and their families in our local school districts. So the information that you're going to learn about tonight is truly going to be a game changer for our state, and we are so honored to be partnering with Oklahoma Human Services to be able to educate Oklahomans across the state about this program in hopes that more of our school districts will take advantage of this exceptional opportunity offered by our state. And now I have the great honor of introducing our very first guest, Deborah Smith. Deborah serves as the Deputy Director at Oklahoma Human Services, and she's currently responsible for childcare, child support, and safety net services. She spent the first 2 decades of her career in the child welfare space, serving many of those years in rural Oklahoma. Ms. Smith also serves currently as the chair of the Children's Statewide Advisory Work Group. This work group is a collaboration of leaders from 9 child serving agencies that are focused on improving services for children and families in Oklahoma. Deborah, we are so glad that you are here with us today, and I am now going to pass the baton to you. Take it away.
Thank you, Erica, for that very nice introduction. I'm glad to be with you this evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm really thrilled to be here with such a dedicated group of school professionals who are shaping the future of education in rural Oklahoma, and even willing to be like on a webinar in the evening to hear about a really great opportunity that we want to cover with you. So, you know, we understand some of the unique challenges that you face, stretch resources especially, but also we have for the last several years, especially during the pandemic, really struggled to make sure that we reached all Oklahomans, and some of our offices were closed, and we really went about finding new ways to serve families, more online, more phone calls, but also looking for really exciting ways to partner with partners, especially schools, in a different model. And we had this really exciting model that we'd had for a while. It was really had a lot of really positive outcomes. So this was a really easy one for us to consider for expansion. You're going to hear all about that today. Monica Brumnett is a speaker that will share that with you. You'll also hear from some school professionals who have this service in their school. So I just want to welcome all of you, appreciate you for being here, and we are ready to partner with you. So with that, I will turn it to the next speaker.
Awesome. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Radhika Cruz, and I'm going to be your host. I have that wonderful opportunity to kind of guide you through our program for tonight. And at this time, as you just heard from Deb Smith, I want to introduce you to our speaker for this evening, and her name is Monica Brumnett, as you just heard. Let me tell you a little bit about Monica. Monica serves as a program administrator at Oklahoma Human Services, where she actually currently oversees this school-based family services program that you're going to hear all about. With extensive experience in child welfare and adult and family services, she has made significant contributions to the school-based family services program. So Most of her tenure at DHS has been spent as a school-based family services specialist, so she knows what she's talking about. And this is a role that she considers as one of the most rewarding positions that she has held within the organization. And so her passion for supporting families and children really shines through her work. And in addition to her administrative role, she's also an active collaborative member of the Handle with Care Oklahoma initiative, which aims to support children who have experienced trauma. So, Monica, thank you for being with us tonight. Please tell us how this school-based family services program is improving the lives of students and families across our great state of Oklahoma. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Radhika, for that lovely introduction. Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to be here with each of you. Did you know that each day in Oklahoma, over 700,000 young minds walk through the doors of their schools on a mission to grow and learn in the company of friends and teachers? Many of these young minds are primed and ready for their day of learning with a good night's rest, full stomach, and a strong support network of family and friends to help guide them as they depart from school each afternoon. But for some of these students, there are out of the classroom obstacles that negatively impact their ability to learn and experience academic success. So what are some of those obstacles that negatively impact so many students and their ability to learn and be successful academically? Well, according to a survey in 2024 by McGraw-Hill, over 1,000 educators from 19 different countries, including the US, Canada, North Europe, Latin America, Asia, and the Middle East, shared that 57% of them saw issues at home, and lack of family support was the biggest hurdle to student success. And 45% believed that unaddressed behavioral and mental health issues were significant barriers to student success. Well, DHS has a solution to enhance academic, social, and emotional outcomes for students in Oklahoma facing similar challenges. And that solution is the School-Based Family Services Program, an early intervention solution that would promote educational achievement and home stability. The goal of the School-Based Family Services is to provide direct and indirect services to enhance student success and family well-being. Our program is designed to collaboratively work with students and parents and Oklahoma DHS to help students receive what they need to succeed academically and thrive physically, socially, and emotionally. The purpose of the School-Based Family Service Program is to serve as that first line of defense for all students and families in need of additional support. For example, if a child needs clothing, has unmet hygiene needs, or food insecurities, that specialist on site can address those needs before they become critical and require child protective service involvement. So by increasing this type of primary prevention, we can reduce educational interruptions and obstacles to learning and promote a child's ability to thrive academically, emotionally, and socially. So how did this program start? Well, this program began as a small pilot in Garfield and Rogers counties. And in 2019, our program experienced a rapid expansion, growing from just 8 specialists to 24 specialists in a very short period. Today, we have nearly doubled again, and now we support 50 school-based specialists across 27 school districts, and our growth is continuing. At this time, I'd like for you to hear from one of our superintendents on how this program has improved student success and well-being. Radhika, take it away.
Thank you so much, Monica. So good evening, Tanya. Tanya is our first testimonial tonight. So Tanya, thank you for joining us and being willing to share your story with us. So Tanya, this is your 3rd year serving as the superintendent for Tahlequah Public Schools. And in your 29 years of career experience, you've served as an educator in Cherokee County, as a principal, as a federal and state program director for Tahlequah Public Schools, which is actually how you began your connection with this program. Yes. So Tanya, my first question to you is, what were some of the common problems and needs that students and families have in your district?
Well, I think when this partnership really began, some of the initial problems were just accessing the services in Cherokee County. We had an office, and then we did not have an in-person office. And when everything went digital in this area, it was very hard for our parents to navigate. A lot of our parents are not very tech savvy, or they don't have access to technology. And some even larger barriers, just like not being able to read themselves. So accessing the services that were available what was a big problem. We see students every day that have a lot of food insecurity. We serve a population of students that have a lot of homelessness issues. So housing insecurity. We see students that just have basic needs not being met, like coats in the winter, good shoes, access to medical care, eye appointments. So just a variety of needs that aren't always being able to be met by the parent.
Yes, so many needs. So what would you say about how these challenges are impacting a student's ability to learn and thrive in the classroom?
Well, they're a huge issue for students. When our babies are coming to school and they haven't had adequate nutrition the evening before or that morning, or they have not slept in a safe and warm or cool environment, when they're worried about their basic needs being met, it's super hard for them to come into the classroom and worrying about math and reading.
Yeah.
We all know that, Maslow's, you have to get those basic needs met before you can move on from that. And so it is a huge problem for our students when they're worried about what's going on at home, or what's going to happen or not happen at home whenever they come to school. That's not what we want them to worry about every day. And unfortunately, there are quite a few of them that do have to worry about that every day.
Yeah, it's hard. You can't be ready to learn if you're hungry, if you're experiencing housing insecurity, food insecurity, right? Challenges
Yes,
at
ma'am.
home. So, what would you say has been the impact, or one of the impacts that you've seen that this school-based family services program has had on student and family flourishing?
The impact of this program for us has been huge. We have recently been able to add a second school-based social worker. We have
Wow.
one that we do in our own through a grant. And these people that fill these positions are like angels to our families.
Mm,
They find so many things for our kids that we would not be able to find. They give someone that specifically just spends time making sure needs are met so they can come into our classrooms and be academically successful. Those things wouldn't happen like they happen if we did not have this partnership with DHS. So, I mean, one of our most coveted partnerships.
yeah. It's like they say, it takes a village, right? Even in the
Yes, ma'am.
school, you want your teachers to be able to focus on educating, and your school-based specialists can focus on those social, emotional, and concrete physical needs that children and students really need to flourish in their learning experience. So we have some school administrators on with us this evening, just like you. What would you say to another school administrator who maybe isn't yet convinced that they should participate in this program? What would be your message to them?
My message to them is sign up tomorrow. Sign up tonight when you're through with this Zoom, if that's available to you. I know that students all over the state of Oklahoma have needs that are not being met.
Mm,
I know how hard teachers work in the classrooms and administrators work every day in their building. And this is a resource that can help you truly close those gaps. Our
mm,
motto is removing obstacles, achieving results. And we are able to do that at Tahlequah Public Schools because we have this great partnership with these school-based social specialists. It is something that you will not be sorry if you participate in. Helps your students, helps your families, helps your teachers, helps you do your job better and reach more students and help them get everything they need to be successful in life.
100%. Well, I thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your story and your experience with the school-based family services program. And I love how you said it, removing obstacles and achieving results. And I know administrators on this call tonight are like, yes, we resonate with that. We want to remove obstacles so our students can flourish and thrive and really change generations. So thank you so much for being with us um, and sharing your story. Monica, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
So you just heard from one of our superintendents who has had firsthand knowledge of the need and the value of this program. Because there are so many more students and families in need of additional support and services, we are working to expand this program across the state. In this map, the counties in blue are who we are currently targeting because they were identified as counties who have the greatest need for this program. And as you can see, the need for more school-based specialists in Oklahoma is significant, and we are so excited for the opportunity to bring this amazing program to more areas. So you may be asking yourself, what do school-based family specialists do to support students? Well, I'm glad you asked. School-based family specialists assess the needs of vulnerable students and connect them with resources in the community, at OKDHS, and at the school to help them be successful. The range of issues the specialists come across is tremendous and varied. For some students, they need resources for classes and medical or dental care. For teens dealing with a crisis such as a pregnancy, they need resources on education to support their unexpected parenting journey. For some students, they need resources and services to help them cope with parental divorce or substance abuse. A big goal of this program is to help find solutions to the problems interfering with the student's well-being and academic success. At this time, I'd like for you to hear from one of our school-based specialists concerning how this program is impacting students and families in significant ways. Radhika, over to you.
Thank you, Monica. Well, I have the privilege of connecting with Frank, and he is here with us to share his story. So Frank, thank you for being with us tonight and being willing to tell your story. So Frank, tell us a little bit about how long you served as a school-based family specialist.
Thank you, Radhika. Oh, it's been about 3 years.
Okay.
Fourth year going into the school system. Yeah.
What school system were you with?
I'm with Logan County, so they got 3 schools.
Got 3 schools. Great. And so I think our audience would love to hear what motivated you to serve in this powerful and influential role as a school-based family specialist.
Yeah, I've always wanted to work with kids. Kids have been a passion for me. I used to work at Job Corps, so working with at-risk youth was special. But I was always thinking, how can I get to them before they get to this point?
Yeah.
And going into the schools, I was able to do that, starting with the younger kids. That way we could work with them and we don't have to see as many when we get to that point of their life.
Yes. So for those who are not very familiar with this role, because it is new, right? And as we see, it is growing, the need is great, and this initiative is taking over the state, which we love. So how does a school-based family specialist actually serve and support students and families? What are some of the things that they do to better serve these students and families?
Well, like Ms. Brummet was talking earlier, we have our core values. You know, we work with our resources. We try to help families with different types of counseling, or we help kids with behavior issues. Those are the main things that we do. But we also try to be in service to our teachers, to the schools, and to the community. So if we were to help a family or a student with certain needs, we want to go back. We want to wrap around back to them. And how can we prevent this from happening later in the future? If they're not making it financially, we'll help them out financially. But at the same time, how can we get it so we don't have this issue again? We want to make sure that they do better in the future. That way later, these kids are, when they're going through school, the worries that they were talking about earlier, they're not going to have. That way that strong family comes back together when they used to not be. Just to keep everything situated. And we also help with teachers. If they're having issues, we want to make sure that they're strong. When they come in to teach, our kids are now strong, but now are you strong? So we want to make sure that whole circle is complete.
Yes. So thinking about some of your experiences, maybe you have a story that can kind of illustrate the positive outcomes that you've witnessed for students and families. Do you happen to have a brief story you can share with us to kind of
I
illustrate
do.
that? Yeah.
I do. I love to talk, but I'll be brief with this. This one kind of
Sure.
sticks out with me. We had some kids that were having some truancy issues, as well as behavior issues. So we pulled them out and we spoke with them, got to know the kids. They had mentioned they're having some issues at home with finances and just mom and dad's relationship. So they weren't coming to school anymore. So we decided to try to get a hold of mom and dad to see, hey, this is what's going on. We can help. What can we do for you? Difficult to get a hold of them because they're very proud. So we did get a hold of their grandma. Grandma got us in touch with them. I went out and did a home visit, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I mean, they were living in a trailer, literally broken in half, having some kind of contraption in the middle to keep it sturdy. Walked in there. Mom and dad were not talking. They were pretty much on their way out. Got with them, kind of gave them hope. They thought it was false hope. On my way home, picked up the phone, started calling our resources. Hey, I need a home. I need to get this family out. The next day, we're at an office filling out applications. We got them in. Well, now I don't have the money to move in. Well, we'll get that. Let me make another phone call. We get on the phone. We got the money for them to move in. They're finally out. Kids are coming to school. They look better. They're behaving better. Teachers are seeing it. Faculty's seeing it. I went over there about 3 weeks later. It was around Easter time. Pulled up just to see how they were doing, just to kind of get a feel for how things have ended up. Pulled up. I see him out there. Just out there having fun. Mom and dad, hanging out with their kids, running, happy. I didn't even have to get out. I saw all I needed to see, and it was exciting. We do things silently, confidential wise. But I think the impact of these SBSs are so loud and the things that we do. I just drove off and got ready to help the next family.
That is beautiful. Wow. Transform that family's life, the students, the parents, right? Safe, stable housing that you were able to help facilitate, finding resources that parents just are not aware of, and how that solved the problem of truancy, right? Solved some of the maybe family dynamics and parenting that was happening. You removed so much stress for that family. And I know you've done it for hundreds, so we thank you for that. So as we wrap up in our time together, Frank, what do you think, or why do you think it's so important to have school-based family service workers embedded into schools across our state? What would you say?
I think we have a lot of kids out there and families that are silent because they don't want to bother, or they think they can handle it on their own. We know of the ones that can't. We want to reach the other ones. We want to ensure that they have the same opportunities as every other kid does. With that, being in the schools, working with the staff, being part of the community, being out there and showing them what we could do. We do it swiftly. I think that this would help a lot more families, a lot more communities. And then they'll start to see in the future where their kids would have been and where they are now.
Yes. Well, thank you for sharing your story with us. It really is a testament to the power that one person can make in the life of a child, of a family. If anyone's familiar with the starfish story, right? All the starfish are on the beach, and you just picking up that starfish and throwing into the ocean. Those are the students and the families, and it makes a difference for that one, right? And the need is great, right? But I thank you for just sharing your story and being one of those folks who are doing everything you can to serve children and families well and changing generations. So thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Yes. Monica, back over to you.
Thank you so much, Frank. And Frank is actually a part of our school-based leadership team now. So he is a former school-based specialist, and we appreciate all your dedication and hard work. Now I'd like to share some of the key ways that school-based specialists can help support and serve parents. School-based family specialists may be able to assist parents in finding emergency housing options or information about utility assistance, just like Frank had mentioned, for families that need more food in the home or they're unable to pay a hefty summer or winter heating bill. They can also help connect families with local shelters and support services. They help parents navigate the school system and access educational resources. They can also coordinate tutoring and after-school programs for students needing that extra assistance. Some have even been able to find workshops on supporting children's learning at home. Specialists may also be able to offer referrals to counseling services for mental health and substance use issues. They can help facilitate support groups for parents dealing with addiction in the family, and even provide strategies for talking to children about substance use and its consequences. Some of our specialists are able to help implement these programs focusing on bullying prevention, mental health awareness, and conflict resolutions. They're able to collaborate with the community organizations to provide outreach and support for families in need. Specialists may also be able to share information on maintaining good health and hygiene practices. They're able to distribute resources for assessing healthcare services and organize health education workshops on nutrition, mental health, well-being, and hygiene. At this time, I'd like for you to hear from a parent concerning how this program has impacted their family in a significant way. Radhika, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you. We have the privilege of hearing from Stacy Freeman tonight. Stacy, thank you for joining us tonight and being willing to share your parenting story with us. So you have been a former foster parent and an adoptive parent with DHS, and that spans 12 years, and you have cared for 27 children, and you've adopted 4 children as a single parent. That is amazing. And we also learned that you work in special education at Guthrie High School, which is really how you came to interact with this program. So Stacy, please tell us about the circumstances or situation that brought you to working with the school-based family services program.
I've actually worked with the program in multiple ways. Started off about 3 years ago. We had a student that him and his mother were living in a very, very small 1970s model travel trailer. They did not have running water a lot, clothing that fit him. He was a very tall young man. Hygiene was a struggle. So we first worked with our go-to man at the time, and he was able to immediately find us some weather appropriate clothing, some things to help with hygiene, also some food, several boxes of food, and most importantly, a pair of shoes that actually fit the young man that he was able to wear. They weren't worn out. And it completely changed that student, his outlook, and kind of gave him a positive. He was definitely had some mental challenges, very low IQ and low functioning, but it just made his day. And that we had our workers showing up weekly just to high five and check on him, see if there's anything else that he needed, and just surprising every once in a while with just a new shirt or a new package of socks, or just an extra bag of food. And it just really changed the outcome for that student until he graduated. And it was such a blessing just to see how they worked with him and just changed his life. And I still keep in touch with that student, and he's just thriving.
Wow.
And I really feel it was because he had just so many people behind him.
Yes. So this experience of having a need for your student and being able to have a worker that you can go to that can access resources, provide service recommendations for different services to handle the mental health aspect of things, and just
Yes.
having that social and emotional support, right? As a parent, that could be hard and feeling all alone, right? And I don't know where to go, and I don't know what resources are available, but having that worker there was a game changer for you. That's what I'm picking up on.
Yes, he had been in and out of foster care multiple times, and
Mm,
so the family was very hesitant. And then once they
sure.
saw that there was actually a program through DHS that was willing to be helpful,
Yes,
keep him in the home and help find things that they needed, it just completely impacted them in a different way.
absolutely. So when you think about being able to access these services and these resources through the school-based family services worker, how would you say that this program has really impacted that child or other children's academic success and their overall well-being? What more could you say about that?
I will use my grandson as one of my examples. He was adopted about 4 years ago. But right after adoption, he's in the school system and he was introduced to Mr. Frank. Obviously, he had a lot of behavior issues. He had been tossed to so many homes. A young mom, she had already lost several other children to this state and adopted by other family members. I have adopted two of his first cousins, actually, and just had a lot of behavior issues, a lot of emotional issues, outbursts and things at school. And he was able to establish a relationship with Mr. Frank. He still asks about Mr. Frank all the time, because he was able to just pull him out with all of his behavior issues, pull him in, play games with him, talk to him if he needed something, whether it be a pencil, a pair of socks, helped him get a different pair of shoes. He had plenty of shoes. He just really, that just was something that he had always been without. And they got him a new pair of shoes and it just completely changed him. Having somebody just to pull him when he was just really struggling emotionally, just to pull him out, give him a little breather and send him back to class. It completely changed his school year, where he was not doing so well, to where it got his grades up, and it made a whole impact on not only him, his classroom, obviously because behaviors changed, and just our entire family.
Wow. A ripple effect, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
I hear that this program, having these workers embedded into the schools, are a resource, a service, and a support. They're offering behavioral support, mental health supports and services, concrete supports, right? Because you can't get into learning if you're hungry and you're
correct.
tired and you have challenges with housing and all kind of other social and emotional challenges around you. So that is beautiful. I hear so much value add to that. So, as we wrap up our time together, what would you say to parents who are listening now, or who may listen in the future to this recording, and they may be wondering about the value add that this program is going to bring to students and to their family? What would you say to them to convince them that this is where it's at? Do not be afraid. Do not be hesitant. Do not be apprehensive. What would you say to them?
I would say exactly that I know that there's a lot of negative stigma from years past. And I dealt with it a lot as a foster parent. So don't be afraid. Listen to these workers when they're calling you and they're offering help. They're truly trying to help you and your family to better your circumstances, and just offer you just that little glimpse of hope where you might not have it. Whether it be, I've watched them help with Christmas gifts. I've watched them get birthday presents. I've watched them get beds. They are out there. They are going to, if you may think it's just the smallest little thing that you need, but it could make such a huge impact on your family, on your child, and just having a new blanket, just so that they feel warm, and having somebody that they can go to at school where they can just go, and nobody else knows where they're going. They're going to the office, they're going to the restroom, but just having that resource there where they can have somebody they can go and they can talk to, and just have that extra support for receiving things. This summer, worked with Frank, and we were able to provide school supplies for about 50 special needs students across our district.
Wow.
So,
That's amazing.
just don't be afraid. Just let them help you in
Yes,
whatever
I
manner
love
that
that.
is. And they are willing to do it, and they're going to do it. Nobody else is going to know about it.
Yeah.
And it'll change your lives.
Thank you for sharing that, Stacy.
You're
What I
welcome.
heard in your, oh, were you going to say something else?
No.
Oh, what I hear you saying is, listen, parents, reach out and receive the helpers, right? I don't know how many of you have watched Fred Rogers' story, and I watched a documentary years ago, and he said his parents would tell them, look for the helpers. These are the helpers who are changing lives, one student, one family at a time. And so that's the message I hear from you. So I hope you're hearing that tonight, parents, parent advocates, family advocates. reach out to these helpers. They want to support you and resource you and connect you so that your students, your families can thrive. So thank you so much for being with us, Stacy. Back over to you, Monica.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. As you've listened to these three stories, I'm sure you've picked up on the reoccurring theme of communication and collaboration, and that leads to student success. Open communication and collaboration between schools, parents, and OKDHS is the key to creating solutions that enhance student well-being. Through this initiative, Oklahoma Human Services hopes to create a supportive and nurturing environment for all students to thrive and reach their full potential. There's one story that I can share with all of you that illustrates the transformational power of recognizing and responding to students' need. Is a story about the red shoes. This story is about a fifth grader whom we will call Billy. I met Billy when I was a school social worker, and Billy had a bit of a reputation as a behavior problem. So I think he was kind of used to having rough school years. But about halfway through this particular school year, I noticed things started to change for him. Now, Billy always struggled getting to school on time, but I remember this one particular morning, he came to school very late. His teacher buzzed down to my office on her intercom. "Miss Monica, one of our friends is coming down to see you, and you'll know why." I will never forget his face when he walked through my door. His eyes were really puffy and barely open. His face was puffy because he looked like he had been crying. His hair was a little bit of messed up, and he looked like he had not showered in a long time. When I looked down at his shoes, I noticed that the soles of his shoes were nearly falling off to the point where I don't know how he was even walking in them. I asked him, "Billy, are these the only pair of shoes that you have for today?" And of course, he said that was all he had. Now, as social workers, we are very resourceful people. Most of our school-based specialists, they have clothes closets and food pantries in their office. And I just happened to have a size of some red sneakers that he absolutely fell in love with. I sent him back to class with the shoes. And after school, his teacher, she caught me in the hall and she said, "Miss Monica, man, that moment really changed my teaching career." She said, "Billy came back to class with these new shoes on." And she said, "I will never forget the look on his face. His eyes were wide open, a big, bright smile on his face. His day was totally turned around." And she said it was from that moment that I stopped assuming that every kid that walked through that door was automatically ready for school. She said, "I stopped assuming that every kid was ready to learn." And the fact of the matter is that there's a lot of kids everywhere, so many in Oklahoma, that have their back against the wall and they're just trying to survive when they make it to school. So by partnering with school districts, we can help ensure that every child receives the necessary support and resources needed to succeed both academically and emotionally. This transforms their educational experience from one of just mere survival to one filled with possibilities. At this time, I'm going to turn it back over to Radhika, who will share how you can partner with us to serve more students and families with this program.
Yes, thank you, Monica, for that. It's a powerful story. Listen, after hearing these stories, hearing about this amazing program, we are convinced that the students and families in your district are going to significantly benefit from this amazing program. And so we want to lift your hands. We want to focus on supporting the social, emotional, and physical needs of the vulnerable students in your district so that you can focus on academic growth and achievement. And so we know that there are school administrators on here with us. And of all the things you all could be doing tonight, you chose to be with us, to give your time. Of all the places you can be, you chose to be with us to learn how you can serve and support more students and families who need this program. And so we know you're committed to students and families. We know you want them to flourish in every area of their life, and we want to partner with you to do so. So what you getting at, Radhika? What you trying to ask us to do? We want to bring this program to you, right? So please take a moment right now. We are going to drop in the chat the link to where, if you're a school administrator or a teacher and you're saying, "Listen, I am bought in, we need this program, I'm interested, tell me more. How can we partner?" We're going to drop that link in the chat for you, please. Or you can scan this QR code, you can get out your phone, Scan that code, right? It's going to take you to an interest form, and just complete that interest form tonight. Do not wait. Do not let this moment pass you by, right? When you got good things, you want to give it away. You want to spread the good news. And so that's what we're asking for you to do tonight. Commit tonight, sign up, scan the code, go to the link, complete that interest form. And we can't wait to partner with you to help more students and families receive the resources and support they need to thrive and reach their full potential. Now, you may be on this call and you're saying, well, Radhika, I'm not a school administrator. I'm a parent, or I'm a family advocate, or I'm someone in the community. That's awesome. We're glad you're here. And listen, you could do something too. We need your help. We need you to promote awareness about this amazing school-based family services program in your community with your networks. We need you to share this information. We need you to share this webinar for folks. You know, you all have a network. So please help us get the word out. We want to see more lives changed. And so listen, to learn more about how you can help us advance this mission of helping more students and families flourish, please reach out to, we're going to put that slide up. Please reach out to Monica, our speaker tonight, or Heather using their contact information. Get your phone out, take a screenshot, right? Do not lose this contact information, because they are the key that's going to unlock the door to bringing this program to your school and to your community. Remember, you saw that map earlier. The need is great. And so we got to get the word out, and we need your help. We cannot do it alone. And so I just want to thank Erica for inviting us to reach all of you tonight. Once this link goes public, if you will, and we get it all together, we want you to share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram. You know, I don't know all the things out there these days, but spread the word, right? When you're in your meetings and your small groups and all the things in your daily life, talk about this, share the need, share the impact, and even share some of these stories that you heard tonight, because we really want to do more to reach students and help them flourish in life. And so together, let's build those bridges that help support a student's academic achievement and their overall well-being. Let's help these families, right? So they can really live out their potential. So with that, I'm going to say thank you for joining us tonight. We look forward to partnering with you so that we can see more students and families changed for good. So have a great evening, everyone. We need you. Remember, spread the word, sign up today. Let us get to you and share more about how we can partner together to change the landscape of Oklahoma for students and families in need. Thank you for your time. Have a great evening. Talk to you next time.
So just to wrap this up, thank you all so very much, truly, for taking time from your Thursday evening to learn more about this exceptional opportunity to enhance the support that we can provide to Oklahoma students and their families. I think after listening to this, there's not a school, site, or district in this state, or parent or educator that can't think right now of not one, but 10 or 20 or more children that could benefit, children and families that could benefit from this. And so again, I am just so incredibly grateful that we were able to partner with this crew of amazing folks tonight to bring you this information. So here's what's next. We'll wrap this up. A recording of this webinar will be posted to our website at okruralschools.org underneath the resources tab. This will allow you the ability to rewatch it. And then you'll also have a link that you can share with your local school teams, social media feeds, and public school advocacy networks. It may take a couple of days for us to get all of that locked and loaded and up and live. But once the link is up and live, we will send out a follow-up email to all of the attendees and registrants with that access link so that you can have it to watch again or to share with your friends or your school administrators. If you are interested in implementing this program with your district, Radhika walked you through all of the contact information and the forms. We'll include that as well. And in the event that you missed it or didn't take a screenshot or write it down, when we send that follow-up email, we'll make sure that you have that too. So look for that email to hit your inboxes over the next few days to a week. And then while you're on our website, we invite you to go ahead and scroll to the bottom of our homepage and sign up for email alerts for breaking education news, online and community events like this one, and additional information on ways to join our advocacy coalition. If you are a Facebook user, we also invite you to join our Oklahoma Rural Schools Coalition Facebook group. So this space is really kind of the hub of our front-facing work and the best way for you to stay in the loop on all of the stuff that we're doing. Additionally, the things I mentioned earlier, but also we've got legislative season coming up. And so we want to keep you informed about legislation that's impacting public schools and calls to action on that legislation with guidance on how you can engage with your local lawmakers on important issues to you during legislative season, which, by the way, is February through May every year. I also wanted to make you aware that there is going to be a legislative interim study conducted by Representative John Waldron focused on this exact topic, how school-based family services can benefit our schools in Oklahoma. So that's going to be, again, we'll send the follow-up email, but it will be on October the 3rd at 10 a.m. at the state capitol, and we will post the recording of that study the afternoon after it's wrapped up into our Facebook group as well. So I just want to give a huge thank you to all of today's amazing presenters. We are so incredibly grateful to have been able to host this event with you, and we are so grateful for all that you are doing as individuals to create a better Oklahoma for our families and our children and our schools. So with that, everyone have a great rest of your night and an even better weekend. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Hope you get to go to the state fair, and we will send our follow-up out as soon as everything is up and live. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Erica.